I want to follow up really quickly some of the things that I said about realism, idealism, and then a kind of experimentalism or the phenomenological position I've been trying to advocate, which I would say is really neither. It's a kind of dialectical materialism grounded in communication technologies. But I think one of the ways I think to really come at this is to say, does it make sense at all to suggest that the physical material world could have just been complete unto itself without the the eventual development of life, consciousness, and then reflection upon itself? Does it make sense to say that there could have been a complete reality that's consistent, coherent, and it all makes sense, but there would be no consciousness or observer or experiencer? Or isn't it the case that everything about the cosmos itself, and I mean the actual physical material reality, everything about it is such that all of the possibilities of life, awareness, consciousness, relation were already given to it, such that it would have been incomplete without it? I think you could try it a different way. What were the odds that life would have emerged and then consciousness would have emerged out of life? Well, the odds were 1 out of 1. It seems that, you know, like it was a fantastical possibility. Or, when people say that it was a fluke, it was a kind of fluke or a happenstance that life emerged and that self reflexive consciousness emerged out of that. And, you know, I think I know what the person's trying to mean, but there's another sense in which that doesn't make any sense. You can't hold that the universe is fully deterministic, that it's all material causality all the way along, and then also suggest that this kind of fluke just happened. No, I mean all of the prerequisite requirements for its emergence had to be precast. I mean, this is part of why the issue of mathematics is so interesting. You don't have to say that there is a kind of mathematical order behind the reality that's regulating it, and you don't even have to say that it's some super fantastical truth. I think what you have to say is that all of the mathematical realities that humans have been able to somewhere between invent and discover were possible because the very orderliness of the cosmos created, allowed for, enabled the consciousness that would apprehend it. That is, our brains and our minds are as orderly and as much a product of the logic of the cosmos as the cosmos itself. That is, we are something it's doing. And so the mathematical regularities that we're able to discover or create and then project on the world and see on there, it's not simply a product of the human imagination, if by that we mean a deviant fluke. Because, again, there is a sense in which there, there are alternate kinds of geometries, right? There are non-Euclidean forms, Lobachevsky and Riemann, just obvious examples. There are alternate forms of, you don't have to have a base 10. You can have binary systems. You can have other kinds of systems. But I think the sort of larger point is that the orderliness of the cosmos and the very orderliness by which our our consciousness apprehends that, they're of the same fabric. And this is partly why I guess I've been trying to suggest that, you know consciousness, how do you say it, consciousness is something material. It's something that the material world made room for and allowed for. But there's another sense in which consciousness is that which has no boundaries or borders, it's, everything in reality is inside consciousness. I mean, consciousness can't have a physical or a visible frame. I think that the problem of what is on the outside of the universe. Like if you try to get that issue of the universe, like I said, the universe is infinitely expanding. Well, what's that which it's expanding into? If you try to do that, if you try to imagine the singularity, this where everything is, I guess, undivided, and there's not even space around it. Space hasn't been invented yet. There still is this problem: what's outside the space? What's on the boundary? Outside the boundary? And it seems like there's this sort of logical problem of there always seems to be a need for an outside to something, but then that outside would need an outside. And I think consciousness is the exact same problem, right? Consciousness can't be inside the world or outside the world. Sides is the wrong word. The point is that consciousness is the kind of room making internal negation. And when I say internal negations, as again, is a term that Sartre uses that's very useful, he's trying to get at the way that the dense, through and through thick materiality of the world can somehow be at a distance. I mean, how can I be indigenous with the world, of the world, through and through from it? I emerged out of it, and yet still experience the world as at a distance. Somehow, there's an internal negation. That is, it's not like the world's over there and I'm over here. If anything, there's this ongoing co-present event which issues a division from within that then enables a re-relating what was internally separated, internally negated as not it. I think it's like a cosmological problem for Sartre. In order to have the world over there and myself over here, you have to watch the process by which those emerged. If you begin with them separate, you'll always have the problem. You know, uh, but if you try to get at what is it that separates, for example, my body from the world? Well, it's nothing. What is it that separates one word from another word? Well, nothing. Um, I can see other people's face, they can see mine. I can see the whole of their body, they can see the whole of mine. I don't see the whole of my body. There's senses in which parts of me come into being only through others. So, what is it that separates me from other people? Well, nothing. See, and I'm not trying to say that we're not separate. I'm trying to say that there is a kind of internal negation that separates that off, that then opens up this capacity to re-relate or to connect at a higher level or a more abstract level. Okay, I think again I'm a little bit all over here in this vid here. What I'm trying to get at though is I think there do seem to be problems for those who would want to postulate something like a logically complete world which would be complete independent of human or conscious organismal awareness. And again, I'm going to push the envelope to it has to be something that is positing itself in a reflective awareness of its relation to all that's around it, and a kind of an awareness of that. These processes of self-awareness, they are part of nature, right? I mean, nature itself is opening to itself. We are the place and moment through which it's opening to itself. And I think part of this has to do, again, this is why math is so important, is that math has lots of relations that are, properly speaking, logical rather than temporal. The various axioms, the various corollaries within geometry, for example, even though you can, in a temporal order, lay them out, the simultaneity of the relations is the fact, but we, as in time, have to unfold them again, one at a time. But I guess the kind of relations that we're talking about is the logical the logical set of relations whereby the cosmos logically required consciousness in order for it to be fully what it is and what it was destined to be. I'm not suggesting that there was consciousness in inert matter or prior to the emergence of life. I'm not trying to suggest some sort of super fantastical. I'm trying to get at the issue of the logical problem of, does it make sense? And it's partly a question. Does it make sense to say that the universe as purely matter, not life, not sentience, not conscience, not consciousness, but matter, was fully complete without awareness of it? I'm going to say no. And the person who wants to say it is, I'm going to say what you're doing is you're using an even stranger fruit, which is the human imagination as reality. You're taking your ability to imagine the world and then taking that as the real world, which is even more interesting. I think this is part of the reason that we take that to be the real, I think is part of the echo reminder of the indigenous character of consciousness to nature and ultimately to all that is. Okay, thank you.